This is Eve, author of Detox with Ease, and it's basically helping people learn how to reduce toxins by 90% and increase the body's ability to detox and heal itself. A firm believer that a little education and easy changes are the way to well-being. This isn't specifically a chemical sensitivity book, it's a book for everyone. You know, toxins is a huge issue, and since I had to live my life knowing the toxins in everything, and also maybe like yourself being able to perceive and smell the toxins in everything, like I really know. And I had to learn, you know, the different organs, how they work, all that stuff. So it's a pretty simple book. Like it touches on EMF, it touches on grounding, it touches on hormones in milks and GMOs and a lot of things. It's not specifically a chemical sensitivity book, although I do mention a little of my story in the beginning. I guess what I want to talk about today is like how I recovered. I first noticed that I had something going wrong when I was in the gym. I used to take like very heavy cardio workout classes. And let me take these off. And just one day, everybody's laundry detergent started bothering me. I was like, what's wrong with everybody? Why are they wearing all this toxic stuff? And I don't know if that's what made me sick or triggered it or just was a coincidence. But now I realize when you're in a gym like that and your body's heating up, it actually starts off-gassing the toxins that are in your laundry detergents and stuff like that. And then you're in a closed room, you know, it was a group exercise situation, kind of a Zumba type thing, and also African dance. So there was just no air. I was just breathing in everyone's toxins, and I just, one day to the next, I just started having a huge problem, and I got sick very quickly. I think if you have this, like, it's very, very serious, and when I was sick, I really felt that I was dying. I didn't like to think about it, but I was like, wow, this is not good, because I kept getting sicker and sicker. You can get sick pretty quick, so if you have this, you want to turn it around ASAP. So, yeah, I kind of went home and Googled, and then, you know, started Googling, and that was more than 10 years ago. It was about 10 years ago or so. And Sherry Rogers was the big person at the time. She had written some books like 30 years ago. And I got her book, was called Detox or Die, and the other one was called Wellness Against All Odds. And I followed her protocol, even though it was very hard for me. It was like numbers and different kind of vitamins, and it, you know, was written, she's a doctor, you know, so it was not like an easy to read book, especially when you have chemical sensitivity. Your brain is very much affected. And but I did read it, and I did the coffee enemas, and I did the saunas, and you know, from there I just constantly read and experimented with different healing modalities. Right now I'm super into the red light. Like, I wish I'd had it back then, because it really speeds up your healings. Puts actual energy and photons into your body, and it's amazing detox. Also the sauna, coffee enemas, vitamin C is amazing. Just doing like 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C for 4 to 6 weeks could help you. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. Don't follow any of my advice. You know, all at your own risk. And also, some people with chemical sensitivity are very sensitive. That's one reason I wasn't giving a lot of advice and writing my blog after a while, because I was like, wow, you know, I'm really speaking for myself. And there's a huge range of people out there. Some people are very much more sick and sensitive than I was. So you know who you are, and maybe for you it's like half a dose of vitamin C. That's one of the amazing things I learned with my, you know, recovery, is that every single person is different, and every body is different. And, you know, you just have to really learn how to work with your own body, your own self, and go very gentle and pay attention, educate yourself. Because as far as I know, I don't think any naturopaths are even healing this illness, and they cost a lot of money, since they didn't have it, and also they're not you. You know, on the internet you can read, oh, it's methylation, you know, your liver isn't processing toxins, and I don't really look at it like that. Like, I think it could be, you know, all of the things, or maybe something completely different. You know, in your case, one person was a hormonal imbalance. She got her hormones like regulated and she felt way better. I haven't heard from her since, so I don't know how she's doing now, but it could just be one thing. You know, I think in my case it was a lot of things. Also, an amazing thing I did for healing was breathing. So a lot of my chemical sensitivity, I do believe it was related to severe PTSD. I had very severe childhood beatings and traumas and pretty nightmarish childhood. And so I stopped breathing at an early age. I was probably a baby, you know, I was always afraid, you know, and that makes you not breathe. Anyway, in general in our society, we're not really breathing. And so it turns out, I had a friend who was doing a massage, and he goes, oh, you know, your ribs are very, like, stiff, you know? And I was like, oh, it's because all those years of not breathing, my ribs weren't exercising. So the ribs are actually, they're not hard things like you see on a skeleton. They're tissues and they're flexible. So any way you can get your chest to open and close is amazing. Like, I started belly dancing because I couldn't do this more difficult dance. And it turns out to be this amazing miracle because we do work a lot with our ribs, and just doing any kind of breathing to like get more air in the lungs, like Kundalini meditation I like because they're holding the breath, and things like this are amazingly healing, and you're not going to hear a lot about them because nobody's making tons of money by doing it. So I can't afford to just tell everybody about Kundalini breathing. You know, nobody can really, unless you're a Kundalini teacher. But this kind of yoga and breathing is amazing for the chemical sensitivity. So also it was a lot to do with my nervous system, just being like, having my nerves so fried after so long. I did have a kind of a big tragedy in my family right before I got sick. And that had some personal things coinciding. So I do think that had a lot to do with it. And if you read the statistics about MCS, there was a lot of like trauma, you know, trauma that happened. Some people just childbirth, you know, it could be the antibiotics in the hospital, but it could just be that trauma and all those hormones. Like, sometimes your body just goes offline, you know, goes rogue. My body totally went rogue. It was so scary because, I mean, I would spend hours a day trying to get well, and I was just still more and more sensitive, you know, over the course of time. So, you know, a lot of my healing has had to do with meditation and yoga. That's what I call my Briain Retraining program. I couldn't afford those programs at the time, and I actually thought it was kind of rude. Like, if you have this amazing healing for this awful illness, but you're going to charge, you know, $250 for your DVD, I just thought it was rude and offensive. So I made up my own program, which worked fine. I mean, all you have to do is retrain your brain. There's great information out there on neuroplasticity and just activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which means, you know, meditation, yoga, and many other things. Like, you just find the thing that you like. That's a lot of my wellness coaching and stuff that I do is like, you know, maybe you don't want to meditate, maybe you hate yoga, but could be something else. Okay, that's my alarm. My time is up. Hit like and put kind comments, subscribe to my channel, and share with your friends. I'll let your friends, it's very good to show this to your friends, because when you're explaining yourself what's going on, they're just like, oh, they don't understand. They see somebody they don't know, you know, sometimes they believe that. So that's it. Have a great day. Bye.